From is back, and on July 26th, they released the full official trailer at San Diego Comic-Con. And listen, since it's come out, the internet has been going crazy with tons of videos, reviews, and live streams. So shout out to everybody who's a fan of the show. If this is your first time hearing about the show, then you are in for a treat. It's a great time to be a From fan. In addition to this key art that I've been looking at, trying to find Easter eggs in, I've been watching the trailer, I'm sure just like you guys, over and over and over again. And I think it's out of order. So look, what I did was I edited the new trailer, which is 2 minutes and 25 seconds, and then edited the teaser trailer, which is 30 seconds. And I put them in order because they both have some of the same scenes, but then they also have different scenes or different parts of the same scene. So when you put it together, you kind of get a bigger picture of what is actually going on. And I think because of it, I found some Easter eggs that only I have. I think you guys would really, really like. So check this out. I'm going to play the trailer. We can watch it and then I can discuss it. Okay? So look, please remember to like and subscribe. I'm the Movie Guru, and this is the new From Rearranged trailer.
But things are really hard than you see.
This place throws at us.
We can still win.
Worse around here, aren't they? Hello?
Like a dream.
Look, we're still in this thing. It's together.
Things are...
Boyd, we're out of food.
What can happen to you here?
Hello.
Hit the run, go!
We're gonna find our way home.
But the only way we go home.
Like a dream.
You looking for these?
Into my life.
You can't save them all.
That's what she said. Let's see.
You're so strong! You're so strong! Just... No, I know.
Like a dream.
It was an ambush.
How many did you save?
You said this place couldn't break.
The day you walk.
Remember what?
What's missing? Too many things are changing here. I have to remember.
The game here is rigged.
Like a dream.
You did the only thing you could do. And you lost.
Everybody just talks about how afraid they are. But we have no idea what we're dealing with.
Unfortunate. You haunt me like a dream.
This place will not break us.
Oh my God.
Nothing that I've been through is possible.
I think you're here for what's in the basement.
Really hard than you see.
Okay, y'all. So that was the rearranged trailer. If you can see, I took some of the clips and put them in what I figured was the order. So look, let's just break it down. So it's really much starts with this. I see Boyd's attitude change. He's really positive at this scene. He has on the blazer with the damages on the arm that we know from being shot in season two. We see he has his tan button up, and then now it looks like they gave him some sort of vest or some sort of zip up, right? To more give him a more sophisticated look than he already was sophisticated. And so I feel like knowing the direction of the town in the background in this scene, he's at the diner. So he's either talking to Kenny's mom or he's talking to Kenny. And then it looks like he leaves.
We can
And then there you see him ringing the bell, and then you see the diner behind him. So he's going from the diner down the
still
street.
win.
Worse around here.
And we all know that when he rings the bell, that means that it's getting dark. And so then we see Jim talking to Boyd, asking him another stupid question, but uh, I guess he's just dealing with grief in his own way.
Aren't they?
We still see Boyd in his gray blazer. So that's how I know this is probably the first episode. They pretty much started every season with him walking, ringing the bell. They started season one with him ringing the bell. They started season two with him ringing the bell. So I'm sure they're going to start season three with him ringing the bell. So that's why I put it at the beginning. When Boyd and Jade are talking, they are right in front of the bar. And so who stays in the bar? That's right. Jade stays in the bar. So it looks like Jim is on his way to the bar. Looks like he stops and talks to Boyd, and then he goes to the bar.
Worse around here, aren't they?
So if we go inside the bar, this is what we see Jade doing. Jade is actually doing a literal string theory. He's laying down from the same position that those kids were in the cave, looking up. And I guess he reenacted the symbol with some string and some yarn to just make it super cool, witty, and edgy. It's an actual string theory. If you go back to season one, that was his main thought of what was going on. And so, looking at the clothes that Jim had on when he was talking to Boyd, I'm guessing, and knowing the location of the village, I'm guessing this is right after that. So he went to Jade's bar, didn't get any information from Jade as far as what's been going on. Two houses down or past the diner, he comes to Kenny's mom's house. So he's in Kenny's mom's house, and this is where the phone rung last time, but the one who picked up was Kenny. So if we rearrange the order, we see instead of the trailer ending, we see in the other trailer, the 30-second teaser picks up and says hello. And so then we have a quick scene of Donna crying, right? Saying they can't leave us alone. But look, one key factor here is that Boyd still has on the gray vest. So that's how I know this is the first episode. So all this happens in the first episode. He must have continued to walk through the town and went through up to the colony house. Now, before he was banned from the colony house, but I don't think it still stands. So I'm guessing he's gone up there. Something else might have happened that we don't know about. It does look like it's nighttime. So this could be he rung the bell. He's making his rounds. It's getting dark. He's up at the colony house. And maybe Donna's just going through it because she lost somebody. Now, we don't know what happened to Dale. He could have died. Somebody could have offed themselves like they did in season 2, I believe. So a whole bunch of stuff could be happening that we don't know, just added to. But somehow Donna's very upset or acting like she's very upset. I believe Donna is faking, and I'll explain my theory later, but I believe these are fake tears. And so this is another scene that we see, and Boyd's outfit has changed. He no longer has the vest on, but he does not have the blood on his shirt. So this has to be before he gets abducted. So he's going around, and it looks like he's still talking to everybody like he usually does or did in season 1. Of course, Ethan's on the playground, sad because he's really got nobody to play with, right? His sisters doesn't have a storyline. His mom is missing, and his dad is Dudley can't do right. So he's kind of just falling to the wayside here, and he's this is what they mean when they say it takes a village. the, the village is definitely raising
Look, we're
Ethan.
still in this thing.
Okay, so past Ethan, I'm sure he just talked about how he was feeling, and then looks like Boyd in that same outfit, meaning the black blazer, the button up, no blood, and no vest. So we know it's probably the second or third episode, and it looks like he's standing in between somebody, and he looks to be in a negotiating stance, hands up, trying to calm everybody down. He's going through his normal speech. Hey, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. We heard him say it in season one. We heard him say it's season two. And he usually says it when he's having problems with the people in the town, mostly when he's talking to Randall.
It's together.
So we see this, in fact, is Randall. And if you look, Randall is burning something in his hand. So he has some sort of matches, a lighter, some sort of fire. And I think, there was a lot of people in the Reddit that was saying, like, why can't they just get fire and protect themselves or burn the creatures? Right. And I guess Randall, uh, who pretty much literally burned his bridges with everybody else in the town, is now taking a fiery stance against the opposition. So he must have rubbed two sticks together in the barn and with some hay and got some fire. And I guess he's got a plan. There is alcohol. I believe some people are making homemade alcohol. It is a bar. So we did see that Tom, who started season one, was distilling alcohol, and we know that Jade, I believe, was distilled it better, and so they look like they're on the side of the town by the bar, and look like Randall got some alcohol and a couple bottles, put some sort of cloth on the edge of it, and is gonna light it and throw it. And I guess that's what's going on because we can see the flame flickering in the corner. This next scene, we see Boyd standing outside the pool, same outfit, blazer, polo, no quarter zip, and it looks like he is talking to Christy. Christy seems to be going through some sort of deep reflective moment. We don't know why, but we have not seen Marielle this trailer, right? She hasn't been there at all. So guessing that Marielle is missing. Christy doesn't know what happened to her. And so she's, distant from everybody, trying to figure out. I guess she feels guilty. They might have had a fight. She might have said, I wish you would just disappear. And who knows, Marielle could have actually disappeared. This to me is before the ambush of the colony house. So I don't think that Mario was trapped up in that. Plus, they don't stay at the colony house. They stay at the clinic. So we know that there was a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on in the clinic, but I think they got that together. I think Marielle and her got into an argument. It probably has something to do with Kenny and or Mario on drugs, and who knows? She's trapped in somebody's basement or she's someplace else, but we don't know where Marielle is.
Things are.
So here, I left this clip in, but it doesn't go with the others because there's snow on the ground. And so the next thing I realized that there's places with snow and then there's scenes with no snow. So I think the way the show goes and the way it ended last season and the way it will start is it will not just be a full-on blizzard. It will be cold. They'll have on coats, maybe extra layers like you see with Boyd, and then they will have snow. And so we see Fatima going to the food and there's snow on the ground. And the reason why I left this in here because I put Fatima's clips together. And this is also the only scene where she shows her belly, where her belly's not covered. Now she does have her arms over her stomach, but we can tell she's not pregnant. She's not walking a certain way. She doesn't look heavier. She doesn't have a bigger statue. So I believe this is towards the end, and I believe that Fatima loses the baby. And in the next scene,
We're out of food.
we see Donna again saying they got no food. But here's the thing: there's no snow on the ground. So this is still that same time before the colony house ambush, before we see before the nightfall on the first day. So I believe this is still the first episode, and I don't believe that the food has been destroyed. It looks like the food is rotten, right? The only way you see food rot is when somebody doesn't garden it properly or they put something in the soil. And I think that's what Donna did. And I'll explain my reasons later. So here we are. We see Fatima in the bathroom pulling her teeth out. Now, if you guys are fans of the horror genre, we've seen this happen multiple times when someone's going through some sort of transformation or possession. And so I believe that, in season 2, there was the witch that popped up with Elgin. Yes, it could have been a vision or a dream, but we know that things in the dream can really affect the real world and can kill people. And so the witch could pretty much still be in the house, or someone who is the witch or has the powers of the witch could be there. Hint, hint, Donna, and has possessed either the baby or possessed Fatima. Ellis busts in like, what's going on here? Now we notice his arm is not in the sling, right? But on the picture key art, his arm is in a sling. So I think that's why I think that some of that key art was just added there. I don't think there's a lot of storylines with people, and so I think the difference in the key art with the people from the season 3 pictures, like Jim with the backpack and Christy with the hat on, and people that look different, they have more of a storyline compared to when you see people in the key art who didn't have new outfits, like Julie, Sarah. They don't have new storylines. So we see her lip busted. And so I was going to say here, this could be two different things because she pulled her tooth out on the right side. Now, if she's spitting out blood, she would have puckered her mouth and spit, and it would have dripped out the front. So that could have been why it was over the front lip instead of on the side, even though she pulled it out on the side. But if she's in the bathroom, I believe she would have wiped her mouth. Why would she spit out the blood and just leave it there and then answer the door? Because apparently the door was locked. And so she's not, this can't be the bathroom. This has to be the room. So I'm guessing there's multiple stuff going on with her, right? So I'm guessing she was in the bathroom, her teeth falling out. And then here at this part, um, something else is going on in the room. Now, also, if you look at her face, her cheekbones look a little, I guess they added some shade to her. Her face looks, I guess this is them trying to show her losing weight instead of gaining weight to signify there's something going on with the baby. She's not covered. She doesn't look like she has a bigger belly or whatever is going on. So I think that she does not have, she loses the baby. Then we get a quick clip of Elgin. We don't really know what's going on with him. He's looking forward, kind of in this awe shocked look. And I believe he's looking at what we see here, which is the puppet. Now, the last person to see the puppet was Jade. And it was these quick clips that would kind of pop up and kind of give you a jump scare in the cave and also in the colony house. So I'm guessing that's what this is. I'm guessing that whatever was going on with Elgin, he's sitting there, a quick pop up, jump scare, and then on to the next scene. But the puppet, even though the puppet keeps popping up, we don't know what it means. But I'm guessing that if you watch other horror movies, puppets are usually possessed. So I think that's why the house or the colony house is possessed with all this stuff. And you see the puppet there and you see the witch. Now, here we have a scene of Julie, and notice her outfit. She has on this blue, this teal, I can't tell if it's whatever color crew neck. And if you look behind her, the sun is out. So she's at their house, or um her house collapsed. She's at Kenny's mom's house, and guessing that this could either be the same day before Boyd was ringing a bell or after the next day after, because now we're starting to see people really not change their outfits. And I believe she's getting some bad news. And if you guys are familiar with the first 30-second trailer, everybody's been theorizing who passed away. And I think in this trailer, we get the answer. So I think she's getting the news of who passed away.
Can happen to you here.
And here we go, Randall. So I think a lot of people were saying like, "What's going on with Randall? He seems to be up to something." And like I said, Randall had fire in the last scene, so he's got that fiery look in his eyes. He's ready to pretty much blow something up, and he's plotting. Now, I was trying to figure out who is Randall talking to because he's burned his bridge with everybody. No pun intended. Well, actually, pun intended. And so Jim is the only person he could be talking to. Every time he talks to Boy, he's in an argument, and Donna's not talking to him after he knocked her over the head and tied her to a tree. He doesn't talk to the women or anything like that. So it really can only be um, Jim, but it's at nighttime. Or the one I just thought of, he could be talking to himself. He honestly could be talking to himself, or he could be having some sort of visions because he stays there by himself. It's obviously nighttime. And so, who the heck would be in there with him? Nobody, right? So, especially at night. So, I think he's by himself talking to himself. And I think that's when we get the next scene. Now, I don't know what's going on, but the creatures are out and there's an ambush. We see here the old lady knocks on the door and Ethan answers it, right? And it's like, why would Ethan answer the door? He knows better. And I think that what we've seen in past trailers, that audio has been switched. I believe that the hello that we hear is not the actual audio from the scene. And I believe that Ethan's been tricked. And as much as he knows better, he can't not open the door because it pretty sure it sounded like his mom. And honestly, Kelly was really right behind him, so she could have stopped him way before he opened the door. Like, look, yeah, look, they're both looking like, oh crap, is that mom? Right? They're both looking and then shocked. Nope, it wasn't mom. Got him. And so she tries to slam the door, they run out. And this is when he get through to the backyard, and this is when he gets grabbed. Now, I don't know why they was hyping this up to make it seem like he was getting grabbed by a creature. This is obviously Sarah grabbing him. But Sarah not supposed to be touching him after that crap she pulled in season one. She was trying to, guess I can't blame her, but she was got the message on her arm to kill a boy, and she interpreted it to be Ethan. So, but that hey, she's one and done in that arena. She should definitely keep her distance. I'm sure they got a restraining order on her. And so then we see Julie, who looks like she's pulling Ethan. Ethan gets grabbed, and then Sarah grabs her, tells her to be quiet while she's grabbing Ethan. And I'm guessing she's going to take them somewhere. They're just in the back of the house. There's really no place to go. Um, Sarah was, I'm guessing, staying a couple houses down. So maybe they go to her house, but I doubt they get in a faraway tree. I doubt they go to the church, but we'll have to see what happens. So here we see something going on at Colony House, and I believe the Colony House is getting ambushed. And not your typical ambush because everybody's got their guns out. You see this guy in the back, he's sort of barricading the door. He's got the gun, but he's loading it and facing a different direction. I think this woman, they always tell you to stay away from the windows when something goes down. She apparently got hit through the window. Now, people were saying that she got slashed. I don't think so. Because for one, you can see the glass breaking inwards, right? And kind of in a line, and then she's holding her side. If she had got slashed, it like Father Katra, it would have been top down. She kind of got hit in the side. So, I mean, there's plenty of guns around here. I mean, they had a whole storage shed room of guns in season two, and that's how Boy got shot. I mean, Sarah had the 357 Magnum to her head in season two, right? Wherever that gun came from. And so somebody can have a gun and be shooting at her. Now, I don't know who would do that, but We know Kenny's got a gun. I'm trying to think who else has a gun. There might be some other hidden weapons around here, so somebody could have a gun. Now, I don't think that this is it could be a split or a fight for the resources, right? That's usually what happens. There's no food. They find out there's food. They start locking people out, barricading, and then this is a civil war. So whoever this woman is not the police officer. That's definitely not Julie, even though she does have that same type of shirt, and she is hit in the side, right? And it goes so fast. And I don't know who this is ripping her shirt. It's not Tabitha. Tabitha's gone. It's not Julie. It must just be an extra from the Colony House. So here we are. Here's one of the new characters, the police officer, and she's outside the ambulance. If you look at that lower left, you see this arm, this shoulder and arm laid out on the ground. That's the paramedic who I'm guessing was driving. I'm guessing this woman was in front and either on the ground or he hit her because there's a bag right here. So it looks like he got out the car, grabbed his bag, and was going to try to help her. And then she turns into the monster, kills him, and then she's surrounded. Now, I'm guessing she doesn't see this creature come behind her, and she's going to get killed. Maybe get a couple shots off, maybe not. We don't know. Now, this is on the side of Kenny's mom's house, and then if click cuts to Kenny's mom, uh, she's obviously in front of the bar, and so the direction that the creatures are walking and where Kenny's mom is at is different. And so here it looks like something totally different is going on because you see the person behind her, which is Victor. He's walking with three goats, and then in the next clip, we see Jay with the cow. So it looks like the creatures are in end game mode and they're doing what everybody said. Like, hey, they of course want to keep playing, but they just want to play different. So instead of just waiting for these guys to make mistakes and come out the house or forget a talisman, they're just going to try to starve them out and make them come out, right? So they kill their food source, right? And then so we see him kill the cow, which we see in this trailer and in the 30-second teaser trailer. And then we see Victor running with the goats. So he must have been back from putting the goats inside the bar and comes back and gets his boyfriend. I'm just joking. He comes back and gets Jade. Now, this scene with Randall, I believe, is the first episode, right? I believe that boy rings the bell, makes his rounds, night comes, and I believe we see Randall give himself a pep talk in the van, looks out, this EMT pulls up, driver gets out, you see the body behind him in the light there. The body, he gets killed, the paramedic gets killed, the cop gets killed on the other side of the car, so we can't see the cop's body because it's on the driver's side. And then Randall runs out of his van ready for action. And the reason why I say this is because he has something in his hand, right? We can't really see it. It goes so fast. It's hard to see, but he has a bag in his hand. And then when right there, he puts two hands together. So here is where he puts two hands together like he's got something. Now, I know looking at this clip, we don't see anything, but here's the thing, y'all. They leave out some of the special effects. So I think here he's going to have a lighter, he's going to have a Molotov, he's going to light it. And then for some reason, it's going to backfire and he's on fire. He burns himself up. So that's how Randall dies, right? So Randall dies by being stupid, but which we all knew was going to happen. We all knew that was going to happen. So here Randall is burning up, and because it looks like he's on fire, right? I mean, stop, drop, and roll. Now in season 2, he did get taken over, but he was kind of possessed. His eyes rolled back white in the back of his head, and the crickets or cicadas or whatever they were just kind of went into his mouth. Here he's kind of rolling. He's hands all over himself, like he's trying to put himself out on fire. Now, I mean, so that's what I think is going on. I tried to slow it down, but it didn't work. So plus it was a short clip. So then it switches. We see Boyd over here looking in the ambulance trying to find stuff. I don't know what he's trying to find, whether it's supplies, keys, I guess, like the lady said, looking for the keys. So this is one of the creatures who has the keys.
Into my life.
Surprises him.
You can't save them all.
It says I guess a very important line: "You cannot save them all." And so this kind of makes me think that all the creatures have a shared consciousness, right? Like they don't really think independently, but they all know the same thing, right? So she knew who he was, and she knew what they were trying to do and what he was trying to do at that moment. Now it comes into some of the mix. So I believe that Boyd gets captured in that moment because there's just too many of them, right? Like you can just see his face. You see the big mechanic, you see the woman, and there's a whole bunch of others out there. He's cornered. He can't go nowhere. So I believe they get him.
You can't save them all.
I mean, he was cornered before, and they didn't do anything
That's
to
what.
him. So I think that same thing happened again. And so I think now he's over there by the church in the barn. So they just grab him, take him into the barn.
She said.
And because we do see the big mechanic manhandling him. And I think the reason why we don't see him with his blazer on later is because they took his blazer right here. And so here he's being pretty much cut. He's been tortured, beat up, and psychologically traumatized. And so they're dragging him through the barn and they're calling him out on what he said before about how this place won't break him.
Let's see.
And they're getting ready to see. And so what did they do? They grabbed Kenny's mom at the livestock purge and they got her tied up in the barn. They bring her out. And here is where they, I'm guessing, tear her to pieces and make him watch. Which is something we learned in season 2 with the girl Kelly, where they made her watch. And so now they made Boyd watch. And now we see Boyd bringing out Tien's body, Kenny's mom's body in the wheelbarrow.
It was an ambush.
And he says it was an ambush. And here we got Victor looking.
How many did you save?
And then there we see the cow body, and then we see him walking from the barn, so we know it was the barn. And everybody, I'm guessing, trying to figure out what's going on, what happened.
You said this place couldn't break.
The day you walk.
And then we see Victor, who was watching it, and then
Remember
he's
what?
talking to Sarah.
What's missing?
And then he's digging something up. So I'm guessing he's got another lunchbox out there because remember he gave Tabitha his lunchbox. So he's, doing his north by northwest, map written in crayon and digging up some lunchbox. Well, I'm guessing some drawings in it, but I'm guessing that these are other drawings that he did at a different time, maybe a different year. And so we'll have to see what he digs up.
Too many things are changing here.
And there was his map.
I have to remember.
The game here.
Because he looked, and then we see a quick flashback of Victor on the day of the massacre. So maybe there'll be some information or a conversation between him and the boy in white. Because, I said in one of the interviews, and if you guys are new to my channel, this is your first time watching my video, I have interviewed most of the cast. And I did ask Victor that, him and the boy in white really have never spoken. And so this might be a scene where him and the boy in white actually have a conversation. And I also asked him how come adult Victor has never seen the boy in white outside of Ethan telling him he saw it and saw the boy in white, and Victor telling Ethan to tell him he said hello.
It's rigged.
And so here, after the massacre, after Kenny's mom has been killed, Boyd obviously a wreck, and he is in the police station, and there's Donna.
You did the only thing you could do.
Donna is in there saying that it's not his fault, and this is where we hear the line that the game is rigged.
And you lost.
And then we see him carrying a body. Now, in order for Boyd to be able to carry a body like that, I mean, like it's nothing. It has to be a small female, and that is kind of the stature that Kenny's mom had. He was dragging the wheelbarrow to the church, and looks like he puts it in the church, and that's where they have the funeral. And so that this scene was the funeral, and I guess they were having it for Kenny's mom. And if you look at the people in the crowd, some of these people I didn't recognize, but I do see, if you start on the right, the blue jacket, I see Jade in the blue jacket. I see Ethan standing up in the checker, and this silver-haired woman is Tilly. So people were saying, like, where's Tilly at? Where's Tilly at? Tilly's right there. That's Tilly sitting in the chair. She just probably doesn't have much of a role. We see Kenny over Ethan's left shoulder. And so he's front row, which is usually how it works when the family passes away. And I'm guessing if you go down the line, it's we can't see, but possibly could be Jewel. I mean, Christy, and could be Mari, but we don't know. Um, and then it looks like Donna is next to Boyd.
Everybody just talks about how afraid they are. But we have
So here we see Kenny in the diner. Nobody's in there, and he has some flowers. And I'm guessing he's just upset that his mom has been killed. He wants to do something, doesn't know what to do.
no idea
So
what
the
we're
jukebox
dealing
comes
with.
on. He's tired of it. He busts it. And then next scene we see Jade, and now it is a snow scene. So I was going back and forth between the scenes that have snow and don't have snow, and I think these scenes that don't have snow are the ones closer to the season finale, the ending of season 3. And so I don't know where this big red rock came from, because in season 1 you see Father Kadri in the field and he's sitting in a circle with some large rocks, but they're not red. So where would this big red rock come from? It can't be covered in blood because it would look different, but I don't know. It looks like a big red rock. I don't think we've seen this big red rock yet. But he starts to notice something, and they can't really tell, but it looked like this guy with the beard, and we see this big red rock. And I put these two scenes together because he had his hat on. In the next scene, he has his hat off. So he's getting choked out by the thing here. But in this scene, he does not have a hat. And then I look to this lower left. Now it is snow on the ground, and then there's someone's beanie here. Now I believe this beanie is Christie's. So I believe what happened, and I put it afterwards. So he's having a Jay's having a vision in this London bloke or colonial Civil War soldier or Confederate fighter or whoever you want to be, cannibal um, person drinking blood out of the skull. He has is a vision, and then we see Jim and Kenny in the forest. So it looks like Kenny was fed up, not being able to do something, and wanted to bring the fight to them. And here we see some sort of pagan totem to ward off evil spirits or keep residents of the town and colony house away from their settlement. And then here we see Kenny pull out his gun, and then it clips to this scene where you can actually see there's some structures behind it. Now it's hard to see, but it looks like there's 3 structures. Okay, so this is my theory, that these structures are abandoned and nobody's there because, for one, if it's snow on the ground like that, it's going to be cold, and there would be smoke coming out of the chimney if the place will occupy. And it also looks like the chimney stack on this to the right is damaged because it's not as long as the one on the left. And it looks like there are some footprints leading that direction, but I don't know. And then here is the scene where we see the person walking in the snow and getting their foot caught in the bear trap. Now, in the scene with Jade having the vision, and the person I said had the hat, there's no rock around here, but I guess there's no rock around here. But so these two scenes must be different. So Jade with the hat getting choked out by this person is different than him having this vision with Christy foot caught in the bear trap. Those are 2 different scenes, 2 different times. But I'm guessing they're towards the end of the season. And so he's having this vision. He's freaked out by it, but we don't know what any of this means. But Jay has had a lot of visions. It started with in the root locker with the guy trapped by the boulder. Maybe the boulder is a hallucination as well. Maybe because of the color. So maybe it isn't real. And because we've never seen a boulder like that. Of course, he's getting choked out. That can't be real. And this guy sitting here drinking blood can't be real either.
This place will not break us.
But there it is. I just watched it again in a different order. And then it gets into some of Tabitha's stuff. Okay, so Tabitha, of course, I do believe though that they are going to start the season with Tabitha at the window because it would be too confusing for them to start back in the town, especially if somebody you trying to pick up from season two. You like what happened to Tabitha? So that's the first thing everybody wants to know is what happened to Tabitha. So I believe it's going to pick up exactly. Well, I do believe it's going to start with the bell ringing in the first episode, and this being part of the first episode as well. That is going to cut over to her in her hospital. What happened after the window? We see on the key art that she kind of has her left shoulder side kind of out. So I'm guessing she might talk to a couple people at the hospital. Then here we see her released from the hospital. She obviously has the rope around her shoulder, so that must be the lunchbox. So she got the blammer in the lunchbox, and she's out in the streets now. I was trying to get a gist of who this guy was on this right side of the screen. I can't really make out anything about his outfit. I can't get a vibe of what type of clothes he has on, what type of year he might be from. I can't get a vibe of anything. I can't really get a vibe on the cars or nothing. So we don't know what's going on here. And so she's outside, and I'm guessing the reason why we see her in this next scene meeting with a preacher because
Nothing that
if you don't know where to go or who to talk to, who's one person that might know something? So in a Catholic church, so she
I've
goes
been
to the
through is
preacher,
possible.
and I'm guessing the preacher um, points her in the direction of this guy. Now, this guy, his real name is Robert Joy. He's an actor on CSI. And he is credited, but his name is in the press release. They call it he's a Cremundin, whatever that means. He's a Cremundin, and it just says disgruntled man who's angry at everything. And so we're trying to figure out his identity, but he is very much somehow connected to Victor, possibly Victor's mom and his sister. Now we see the bottle tree in what looks like his backyard, and
I
then
think you're
we
here.
see the house where we have pictures of all of them. And there's a couple of things I noticed about the pictures, but I'll talk about them maybe in another video. The first thing is that if you look to the middle of the screen, you see this picture of what looks like four people: a man, a woman, and three kids, right? And I guess a lot of people don't see that. They're like, oh, it's just Victor and his sister. But if you look again, there's four people in that picture. And then if you look at this other picture here on the side, there's two boys. So now Victor's sister has dark hair, and Victor has dark hair too. So in this picture, one boy has dark hair, and one other boy has light hair, which has to be this one. So this guy here is Victor's brother, right? That's what I was thinking. Is Victor's brother, and he still lives in their house now, which would be crazy because how would he have kept the house if they disappeared? Right, this bill still got to get paid. So how would he have paid the bills? So there must be somebody else around. So we don't know, but we're still trying to figure it out. Let
For
me know
what's
what you
in the
guys think about
basement.
that one. And he takes her to the basement, which is not creepy at all. And in the
You're here
basement,
for
you got these
what's in the.
drawings. So I believe that he is the one that was drawing these pictures, right? He's the one who has some sort of channeling to whatever else from Ville, and he's the one that's drawing this because if they were someone else's, then they would be covered. I'm pretty sure they would be like sort of collected and covered or stacked some way.
Basement.
And so those are the ghastly kids. So I would say though, in order to know this, you would actually have to be in Fromville. So that's why a lot of people were saying that Eloise escaped, and that might be the case. And we'll have to see when this season comes out. But she saw these ghastly kids, but the thing is, they're in the exact same position that when Tabitha saw them. I mean, sometimes we've seen them in season two separated. They've come from different angles. They're necessarily not together, but this is the same way that Tabitha saw her. Then we see the cicadas again, and now this is a clip from season two, 100%. The nightmare continues.
Really hard
September
days.
22nd. Okay, y'all. And so yeah, I mean that is my breakdown of the rearranged trailer in order. I think I gave you guys some exclusives. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm trying to bring y'all some original content. You know, there's a lot of people doing from videos right now. I think it's great. I'm all for the conversation. Everybody has great theories. I was in a live yesterday, just watching and listening and talking in the chat. And I think I'm pretty soon I'm going to do one on my live. So look, make sure you like and subscribe so you guys can be notified when that happens. And of course, as always, let's discuss in the comments. And I'll see you guys on the next video on the Movie Guru. Peace.